22. Incorporated. This is America.
Land of free, home of the brave, baby, let's go!
Hello and welcome to episode 2.
Episode 2.
Alright, so let's go over the weekly recap. Weekly recap is we talked about PTSD and schizophrenia and how me and him been struggling through it last week. We talked about current events, which we'll go over this week. And that's kind of what we're going to go over this week. And we're going to be hitting on some more things. And we're just going to have fun with it. We'll kind of see how it goes.
Right.
Alright. So, this week, anything happened in your life, man?
Well, I mean, for the first time in my life, I came across Creator's Block.
Creator's Block, huh?
What?
Yeah, so, and recently, I'm sure you guys might have probably noticed that there have been some slight changes. I have actually finally ceased all operations on the on both Hoyoverse games that I've played throughout the recent live streams. WWE 2K24, just a caveat, WWE 2K24 is still happening, so do note that is still happening. And I will continue to be playing WWE 2K24.
And his name is John Cena!
So, this week, my daughter came home. So, she's home, and, but she only came home for the funeral for the friend that we were talking about last week that passed away. So, he passed away in a motorcycle accident. She's been hanging out with her closest friend around here, and so they're going to go up to New York and spend some time together and get her mind off of her dad passing away. So I'm pretty excited about that she'll have a friend in New York, and that she'll have somebody to watch her back. But I'm glad she's home and I get to spend some time with my daughter. And I'm back to work tomorrow. I've had a few days off this week, so that's been good.
Well, yeah, actually, I mean, I'm pretty glad about that. I think she recently said she was going to go get donuts. Yeah, so probably in one of the segments, we will have donuts in the bedroom. Anywho. In other news, so this was funny. I don't know how funny this was, but a cat was thrown onto the highway.
Oh, there were 2 cats thrown on the highway. So, and it's not really funny. So what ended up happening was I was driving from dropping my friends off to my wife, who's a cosmetologist, and she was giving my friend a haircut and a hair dye, and so I went to go get a haircut myself. And as I'm driving to go get a haircut, I see a passenger of a truck drop a orange tabby out the window of the passenger of this truck. And I see this orange tabby hit the ground and scatter as quick as he can to get to the side of the overpass. Luckily, he gets to the side, nobody hits him, and he's good. And I was actually thinking about pulling over and everything to see if he was going to be okay, but he made it over there, and I saw that he was okay, and there was nothing I could do at that time. And I actually feel like his mom would have killed me if I had brought home another cat. Plus trying to rescue a cat on 45 is probably a death wish on my part. But then, not even 5 minutes later, I'm still behind this guy, and another cat comes flying out the window, and it's a calico cat this time.
the truck. I'm telling you, people are just insane here in Houston. I'm telling you. Like, people, especially up on the road, people are just absolutely insane, if you know what I mean.
So, if I had something to put it in a big banner or something, I'd put asshole of the week. Asshole of the week.
Yes, absolutely. I'd probably go a little more professional. I'd say, like, jerk of the week.
Yeah, so, asshole of the week, that's who you are. So, current events, here we are. So, the current events of this week, let's see. Well, we had a pope picked. I don't know if we talked about this last week or not, but
We actually did mention that Pope Francis ended up passing away.
okay.
And
So Pope Francis had passed away the last we had spoke. So they were picking a new pope, and the conclave on day 2 had picked a new pope, and his name is Pope Leo the 14th. He is a United States born in pope from Chicago.
oh, wow.
And that is the first from the Americas. Actually, I'm sorry, this is the second pope born from the Americas, but the first from the United States.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
Yeah, that is really awesome.
in other news, let's see. The price of video games is supposed to be going up. They are saying that it's due to manufacturers and costs of manufacturing these video games, and they're talking about instead of $69.99 or $59.99 for the price of video games, they're talking about anywhere from $80 to $100. How do you feel about that, Blaze?
Well, I mean, I can understand part of it definitely being the ongoing trade war that has been happening, and then the manufacturing costs that are going up due to, of course, the insanity of the trade war. I'm not going to go into details about that, but I do actually believe that part of it is corporate greed. As we know that it's been affecting every facet of pop culture, and especially every industry has seen some level of corporate greed. I'm sure you may have noticed.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't tell you. I'm sure there's some money making in this, but I know that right now it's a lot to do with the tariffs that are going on, and a lot to do with every company has to make money, and so.
I mean, to be honest, I think that's fair enough. I personally think that it's definitely due to the tariffs. I think at first I was a little disheartened and whatnot, but I realized I was like, okay, this has got to be due to the tariffs. So I do agree with that, definitely.
I think the worst part for me is going to be instead of getting, 4, 5, 8, 9 games a year, it's probably going to be down to, maybe 3 or 4 a year now, because I'm not going to be able to afford, $800-$900 a year.
Yeah, that is true. That's true. That's true. Anywho, shall we continue with the whole Trump Victory Day thing?
All right, so I guess this week, President Trump signed an executive order that November 11th
Oh boy.
and May 8th were both going to be federal holidays. One of them being Victory Day for World War I on November 11th, and one of them being Victory Day for World War II on May 8th. The problem with that is Veterans Day falls on November 11th. And he's mentioning things like everybody goes to work, no days off, because apparently the United States has too many days off already, and it's to celebrate the victory of World War One, which I agree that that should be celebrated, the victory of World War One. Where I don't agree yet is if this is a total replacement for Veterans Day, because I think you're replacing a holiday that is meant to look at the realm of everybody that has served this country in all wars. I think you're replacing and you're diminishing the importance of the Korean War, the Vietnam, the
Iraq War,
the Afghanistan War, which I am a veteran of.
not to mention the war on terrorism.
Yeah, all that. Because I'm a veteran of all that, and I'm not sure if I agree with taking November 11th away from us or not.
To be honest, I don't agree with that. I don't agree. And this is coming from somebody who literally voted for Trump to stop things like this, to stop the disrespecting of people, of all people, men, women, children, puppies, everything. And to see that Trump is looking to replace Veterans Day with Victory Day of World War One, I think is absolutely disheartening. And I think it partly makes me, and I think at this point it makes me kind of regret voting for him.
I think there's some regrets. I will say that there are some regrets there when it comes to some of his policies. And I won't say all of his policies. I will say there's goods and bads of this administration so far. But we're going to take each one as it comes and see kind of where it goes. And kind of stick with it and see how everything kind of pans out. I want to see how how Congress reacts to the Veterans Day thing. And hopefully they don't take it completely away from us. And we can do something about it. We can keep it, and but we'll see. We'll see kind of where we're sitting at, and I'm gonna have you announce the next one and go see if there's some donuts waiting for us real quick. I'll be back.
Yeah. So on a lighter note, let's do something a little more lighter. Disney recently just announced a brand new park in Abu Dhabi, and this is fun. So obviously, I think while he's away, I think I can have like an image on the screen real quick of what the concept art is looking like. Now personally, I think this looks like Elsa's castle. Straight up, I think this literally looks like Elsa's castle. I think they may be doing a Frozen theme for this one. For the castle, I could be wrong, and I think this could be a fully original castle. I think it could be based off of Frozen. Oh, so yeah, that's pretty awesome. Donuts.
Donuts. Nope, those are mine.
Oh, those are. Oh,
These are yours.
oh, right, nice. These are yours. I believe these are yours.
Yeah, those are mine.
There you go.
All right. So we got snacks and a movie. All right. Well, all right.
So, what are your thoughts on the Abu Dhabi theme park announcement?
So I think that Abu Dhabi, I think anything that Disney does right now is so important because I think that they really need to reach out, and honestly, I'd love to see them reach out to like the central United States, like somewhere in Dallas or somewhere in up and around Texas, where they've been talking about building another theme park. in the United States. Because I think it's so important right now for a company like Disney to keep reaching out and keep the childhood dreams and that kind of reality and that kind of dream base alive for people, because especially in the world that we live in right now. So kudos to them.
Absolutely, kudos, definitely. I think Disney actually is about to take a major W here. So what do you say we move on to sports? So tomorrow is a very exciting time for myself, Dad, my little brother Lucas, and for everyone in the WWE universe, because tomorrow is WWE Backlash. We have got a major match card up and running already. We have Gunther versus Pat McAfee. We have Jey Uso versus Logan Paul. We got Randy Orton versus John Cena one last time. And then we have the number one contender for the United States champion versus Jacob Fatu. So my thought process is, given everything, I think it's going to be like a fatal four-way, I want to say.
Mm-hmm. So, here we go. The fact is, sometimes everybody needs an escape from reality. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm a white-collar guy who I work anywhere from 40 hours a week to 80 hours a week. And sometimes I just need an escape, and I go escape with my boys to WWE. And, you know, yeah, I realize it's scripted, but you know what? I love it. I hang out with my boys. Can't call it fake because some of the moves, you can't, you just can't make that stuff up. But, anyways, talking about basketball, let's see, the Thunder and the Nuggets are up 1-1 right now on their games. The Celtics and the Knicks are up 2-0. Cavaliers are up Cavaliers and Pacers. Indiana's up 2-0. T-Wolves and Warriors are up 1-1 on each other. So, we're grinding down to figure out who's going to be in the finals on that one. And I've been watching NHL, which I haven't really gotten to my son to put this down on his paperwork yet. But I've been watching NHL and trying to see what's going on in the hockey league right now. Dallas Stars are doing really good. So are the Maple Leafs. So let's go for the Dallas Stars and hope that they pull one off for NHL, for the hockey league, and for Texas. But so, with that all being said, on a more serious note, let's get to the business of what we came here for.
All right, guys, it's story time. So last week we talked about PTSD and schizoaffective disorder. I think this week we're going to go into more detail about PTSD, and then next week we're going to go in the next episode, we're going to go into more of schizoaffective. So, Dad, I know you've mentioned something about your PTSD many times before. So the question I have for you is, what does it feel like exactly? And what does it feel like for you?
Well, so PTSD for me is not like a one-size-fits-all thing. It's different for everybody, but for me, it's like taking the old you the one that everybody remembers from high school, the guy that's joking and laughing around, the one that everybody wants to see, the one that everybody wants to remember, and in your mind locking him in a cage, and he wants to get out, but you can't let him out. And basically replacing him with somebody that can't smile all the time, that's serious all the time, that's scared, that's serious, that is just
Not very fun to be around.
sometimes, but he has his moments. He has his moments to be fun, but it's
It's, I'd say,
far and in between.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, far and few between. So the next question that I have, and I think some people with PTSD themselves, I think, can pretty much relate to this. What exactly are the symptoms?
So my symptoms were, when it first started, I noticed myself, my smile went away. At first, I started to not be able to smile at things when people would tell jokes. I stopped laughing, and then from there, I stopped telling jokes myself, and then I started yelling at things. Every day I was yelling. And then my anger really took over. I started cleaning. I stopped cleaning myself. I became a dirtier man. Because I don't know, lack of hygiene is a symptom of PTSD, and I didn't even know it back then. I would wake up with these nightmares, and my nose would bleed, and these nightmares would relive some of the past events that I had been through, but then some of them were over exaggerated. Some of them were things that never happened, or some of them were things that did happen, but in the dream, it made me feel worse for surviving. When, say, I lost my best friend overseas, which I did in 2008. Then the headaches started, and the nosebleeds really started every day, and that caused it to where I had to be hospitalized for a while, and I had to get help from doctors to get past what I had experienced over there. Therapists. So those were my symptoms. It's different for everybody, but a lot of that is what we go through when we get back. Shutting down and not telling our spouses or our family. Because we don't think that they'll understand what we're going through. And it's harder to sit there and listen to "It's Gonna Be Okay" from them when they haven't experienced that. It's harder to listen to "We're gonna be here for you" when "How could you be here for me" when you've never experienced what I've been through. So that's kind of where some of us think like that. I did.
So, what exactly was the hardest symptom to control?
There were a couple of them. So I know my hardest one, which I still have trouble with, is my anger. I have to consistently take medication, which calms me down, and I have to stay on it, or I'm quickly switched on to my anger. But with my medication, I'm quicker to think about what's going on, and I'm not so quick to snap. That took a series of about 12 years to get the right doctors, the right medication, the right help, the right therapies. And I put my family through hell. I put, to be honest with you, I put my ex through hell. I put my boy through hell. I put my daughter through hell. I put everybody around me through hell. And I did everything but get arrested. And so, luckily, I was not drinking at the time, because I think if I was drinking heavily, I probably would have ended up in jail somewhere, or in a worse situation. But that's one thing I never used as my crutch, was drinking. But that's the thing with military. A lot of times when we are going through this kind of stuff, a lot of veterans do use alcohol as a crutch to deal with these symptoms. And when they do, they
become worse than...
They become worse within their symptoms, and it doesn't get any better. It gets worse for them. Their reality gets worse. And it just, it's horrible what they have to go through sometimes, all because of things in the past.
If you could go back, what would you do different?
So, first, let me start by saying I would serve this country over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. If you gave me the option to join this great military, I would do it every day of the year. Every year. Any month of the year, any day of the year. But I think what I would have done different is I wouldn't have listened so much to my generation. My generation was toxic when we were growing through, because my generation didn't ask for help.
You guys are Gen X, right?
We were Gen X. We were, and the very beginning of
the Boomers.
No, we weren't the Boomers. We were the Zennials, which are the beginning of the Millennials. But our generation, what I mean by generation, is we never asked about help. We never asked. We thought getting help was a bad thing. So every time somebody was like, hey, go to the doctor, we were like, no, I don't need no doctor. And what ended up happening was we hurt ourselves more. So it took me 12 years to go see a doctor. I could have easily knocked that out in the first couple of years. But it wouldn't have, I think I wouldn't have listened so much to the old me. I would have go ask for help sooner. I would have listened more to my kids and what they were hurting more at. But not serving this country. Even though I know I'd get the kind of stuff that that I'd be getting, it was different at the beginning of the war. At the beginning of our deployments, you never really, you had different jobs. You could come in as a cook. You could come in as an infantryman. You could come in as a truck driver. You could come in as all sorts of things, but your job was whatever they gave you when you got overseas. And so it was just different. But the number one thing that I would change would be to listen more and ask for more help. That's it. What do you think from what you've seen?
I mean, I've seen major improvements. I know we still have a long road ahead. And what I will definitely say is, I know in the end, at the end of everything, I know you've done everything in your power to basically, I know you've done everything in your power to break this, if not try to overcome it.
Yeah, that's one thing that I said after my last deployment, because I came back and I really was hurting after my last one. And I said to myself I wanted to give it my all. And I didn't want to just look at you and say I tried, but I wanted to say I did it. And I have. I went to go see the doctors. I went and got the medication. And I wouldn't do anything to change any of that. I probably would have treated people a little bit better than what I did. And so if I treated you badly, I'm sorry. If I was a liar back then because I was hiding things, I'm sorry. But you never know what you're going through at the time. But you are, that's my story. That's who I was. Not who I am and what I'm becoming. So, well, I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream so far, and I'm hoping that we can keep talking about this stuff. And if you guys have any comments or anything and you want to discuss your experiences with any of this stuff, go ahead and hit us up. I'd love to hear y'all's stories of what you guys experience in your time. With your, if you guys have PTSD or any of your experiences or anything like that, or you just want to go ahead and dump on us or anything, go ahead and hit us up in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. Blaze, go ahead and bring us home.
Anyway, I think that's where we're going to end it off here. If you guys do like this video, please make sure to hit the like button. And if you guys want to see more great content like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. If you guys want to stay notified for whenever we post our latest episodes of 22 Incorporated. Without further ado, I have been BB Christian, and this has been 22 Incorporated. Thank you for watching. God bless. Stay safe. Have a great day.